They talk about that handball. Sean Dyche also wondered whether Forest should have had a penalty as well. What do you think on this one before we get to the handball?
Yeah, no, I think it was close initially. I did think it was a penalty, but when you look closely at it, I think Hudson-Odoi drives into the box and Timber does have hold of him, he does grab him, but you see here, he just lets go just before he gets into the penalty box, so I don't think that's a penalty for me.
So he releases him before he gets into the penalty box, so just the yellow card. This, Alan?
No, I agree with Sean Dyche. That I don't want to see this be given as a penalty. He does get a shove in the back there. The arm's close to the body, and it's in a justifiable position, and it hits the top of his sleeve first, and then onto the arm. So not handball for me, no.
Just talk to us about the psychology of playing your match after your title rivals have lost earlier in the day.
Yeah, it can be tough because I'm sure the Arsenal players, if they was watching the game, will have been sat there thinking, you know, we're going to be 9 points clear. And sometimes you forget you've got a game to play. And actually watching that game, you waste a lot of energy watching the game. So it can be tough, but I do think that was a massive point for Arsenal. I think with Man City losing, to go and get a point, I know they would have wanted 3, but to extend the lead to Man City to 7 points and get that point, I think that's a huge point for them.
Do you think that's a good point? I mean, they've actually extended a lead over City.
I think it's a good point for Arsenal and for Forest. I thought Forest deserved the point the way they worked, but for Arsenal, in terms of, it's been another good weekend for them where they extend the lead by a point, so absolutely, yes.
Next weekend it is Arsenal against Manchester United. Let's show you the Premier League table. Arsenal extend their lead to 7 points. Aston Villa will cut that gap though to 4 if they beat Everton tomorrow. Wins for Manchester United and Chelsea take them to within striking distance of 4th place Liverpool. West Ham now 5 points behind 17th place Nottingham Forest. Burnley 8 points adrift despite their draw.
Obviously, people are going to look at this as a missed opportunity for Arsenal to go 9 points clear, but can you actually look back at this potentially as a really good point taken at a tough place to come?
Well, we have to do it, do that, try to learn and improve, and the league shows how difficult it is. Nobody's winning because it's so tough, and especially when we have the situation that we had today, we have to put them away, and there are other areas as well that you have to give credit to the opponent.
Up next, it's Inter Milan. You're top of the Champions League table, so how do you approach that game with a big game against Manchester United in the league to come next weekend as well?
Yeah, we'll recover from this one, and after tomorrow we will start preparing that.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
At Anfield. That's it from us. Kelly is here tomorrow. Me and
as most managers would say, some are given, some are not. And that's the consistency is probably not there at the moment, but I would have thought it would have been very harsh. And I think it was up the other end, and Arsenal had done that. I think Mikel Arteta had been really, really disappointed and frustrated with if that was a penalty.
Yeah, he's already disappointed and frustrated because his side had a chance to go 9 points clear at the top of the table. They didn't take it. It's kind of the second week where they had that moment to open up a gap and they didn't do it. How frustrated do you think they would be overall?
I think they'll be frustrated because they've been the best team in the Premier League, best team in the Champions League. You know, they've got the best defence, they have the most clean sheets, they're the best almost in every category. But today, I think if he's honest, he'll realise they weren't at their best. Nottingham Forest played really well today, probably deserved something from the game. He said they have 4 clear-cut chances. I don't know if they were clear-cut. They probably had one really big one with Saka. Martinelli had one where he probably chose the wrong foot. So I just think he'll be happy with the fact they got a point. Last season, they probably would have lost this game. And I think this season, what they're doing really well is they're getting points in games when they're not at their best, and they definitely weren't at their best.
Move on now to action at the City Ground, where Arsenal arrived at Nottingham Forest, knowing that victory would take them 9 points clear at the top of the table. But Forest also needed a result, given what happened around them in the table. Your commentary team for this one, Jim Beglin and Jim Pratt.
Playing against these sides, you've got to, you know, the commitment is different. The commitment to score a goal, of course, is always there. You want to win games, but what about the commitment to the shape, you know, the basics and the hard yards of the game? And I thought we did that fantastically well as a group. They still had a couple of chances, but you know they're a top side and they're flying. But to get a clean sheet against them is very pleasing. We've had a couple of moments ourselves, but it's hard to open them up as they've shown all season.
We obviously wanted to win the game, and we knew the game was going to be very tough, very close as well, for the way that they play. We created 4 big chances and a clear penalty, but we weren't able to win the game.
It was the
Invincibles, yeah, 2004.
It could have been the case today What does it tell you that they weren't able to go 9 points clear?
Well, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you don't lose the game, and at times Forest did push and had a couple of opportunities, but it's a difficult place to play, City Ground, and they really was up for it tonight. But Mikel will be disappointed because that was a big statement to make, to go 9 points clear. But 7 points is still a good position to be in. I know Villa have got to play tomorrow and they could close it to 4 points. But I think the lads will be disappointed, but now all sights will be on their next game. That's all you can do. You can't change what's happened. You can say we should have created more chances at times and got in behind the Forest defence a little bit better. But as you're walking off that pitch, you're disappointed. But tomorrow, you forget about that and we'll look for the next game. That's all you can do.
Back-to-back goalless draws for them in the Premier League. The last time that happened, Mikel Arteta was still a player.
Good stat, Jules.
Oh, you're very good, Jules, today.
Oh, we have a great stats department, I have to say.
Do you know what? I wouldn't say it's the pressure and the magnitude of it, but it's different now. They're not chasing. They're the leaders. They've been the best team in the Premier League, best team in the Champions League. I wouldn't even say they've had a little wobble. I just think they haven't been at their best. And you'd have to say, I thought Nottingham Forest today were terrific. Defended really well, put them under a lot of pressure. But I think if they've got the squad that they have, with the options to change it in a game, I just feel that that's a game they should be winning. I don't think they tested the goalkeeper enough cells. OK, he made a good save, but he only made 3, Jules. He should be peppered. They should have had loads of shots, and I just don't think they put enough pressure on Nottingham Forest defensively. When they made those runs in behind and put those passes behind, I thought they looked more dangerous, but everything was in front of Nottingham Forest. So I think it's something Mikel will look at and think, right, how can we create more? Set piece offs, we know they're great, but they need to create more from open play.
Opportunity that they had today, Martin.
Gilt-edged opportunities, not taking them in the moment. That's really what it came down to today. Of course, you're making those chances. The goalkeeper seemed inspired. Certainly the save from Saka was top level. He's reminding me of Peter Shilton back in the day at this ground. Sean Dyche coming out. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, Inter away next for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta there is saying it was a clear penalty that his side should have had after that Ola Aina handball there. He said he brings the ball in with his hand, Stephen. The Premier League match centre said it came off his shoulder first and the arm was in a natural position.
Arsenal's title charge took a frustrating hit as they were held to a goalless draw by a stubborn Nottingham Forest side, and Alan Shearer and Wayne Rooney didn't hold back in their reaction. Despite dominating possession and territory, the Gunners lacked the cutting edge needed to break Forest down, with missed chances and predictable build-up play proving costly. Shearer questioned Arsenal's urgency in the final third, while Rooney pointed to a lack of composure in key moments, stressing that these are the game's champions must find a way to win. The stalemate has reignited debate around Arsenal's mentality in high-pressure fixtures, especially as the title race tightens. Rooney highlighted how Forest's discipline and defensive shape exposed Arsenal's attacking limitations, while Shearer warned that dropped points like this could come back to haunt them later in the season. With rivals lurking and pressure mounting, Arsenal now face a crucial response because in a title race this intense, frustrating nights like this can define the entire campaign.